Good.
Good. I thank our viewers on YouTube for watching this as well. My name is Dwayne Fabian, and I'm the chair of the Clayton County Board of Trustees for the library system. And so without no further ado, we're going to get our meeting started. If you call to order, we have our prayer, which will be given by Pastor Daniel Kelly, who's on his way. So we're going to ask him to call him up once he arrives. We're going to go to our roll call. Madam Secretary, can you call the roll, please?
Yes, sir. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I will call your name if you indicate present, please. Dwayne Fabian,
Present.
Herman Drew Andrew,
Present.
Siobhan Fleming, present. Selena Abdullah,
Present.
Mia Ballinger,
Present.
Sherry Gates,
Present.
Brenda Gutierrez,
Present.
Trina Cole,
Here.
Quinn Lee, and Lauren Payne.
Okay, Madam Secretary, do we have a quorum?
Yes, sir.
All right. Moving right along, we're going to go into the approval of our agenda. I have a motion.
I move for you to accept.
It's been properly moved by trustee Dillard. Is there a second?
I second.
It's been seconded by trustee Gates. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It's unanimous. Moving right along, we're going to go into the approval of our minutes for November the 12th for our DOT meeting. Is there a motion?
I motion.
Who moved that? Okay, it was properly motioned by trustee Lee,
I second.
seconded by vice chair Drew Andrews. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It's unanimous. Madam Secretary, do we have anyone sign up for public comments?
No, sir, that's it.
Okay, we'll be moving right along. Okay, the next item on the agenda will be the director's report. Director Palmer.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So glad to see you all. So glad to see you. Seems like we haven't seen each other for a while.
Yes.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
To my staff, thank you all. I appreciate it. Thank you. Just a few quick highlights. We offered another amnesty event like we did last year. And I have a few numbers that I'd like to toss out. So of the event, we had a total of 67 patrons who took advantage of the amnesty event. We received back over 206 items, and we forgave $557 in fines. So over a 2-year period, offering this amnesty event, I think we have really made an impact and helped some folks out. And hopefully, again, they have the fines removed so they can come back and utilize more library services that they probably could because of the fines.
I have a question. Last time it was narrowly focused to a specific, I think, age group or department. So this one was for everyone?
Yes, both amnesty events were for any and all.
Okay.
Yeah. So we will continue to offer that to all folks who will take us on all that. So in addition to the amnesty event, we had our Coffee with the Librarian, and that was shortly before the November elections. And so we had the elections board director, Shauna Dozier, and we had a wonderful conversation, and she informed us all about the election policies, laws that had been changed, and getting registered and all of that stuff. So we had a very good conversation. This past month, we had Dr. Buchanan on our Coffee with the Librarian, and she's a therapist. And she was able to come and talk about mental health leading into the holidays and seasonal depression and things of that nature. So it was another very good, timely conversation. We're very fortunate to have her. If you were at Staff Development Day, she gave a breakout session during Staff Development Day, and staff wanted her to come back. And we will probably call her back at another time to spend some more time with staff. So that was very nice of her. Let's see what else. The only other thing, MOUs, partnerships, the Atlanta Regional Commission was voted on and approved by the Board of Commissioners. So now we will be able to have their mobile lab come to our library branches. They will be able to help folks work on their resumes, apply for jobs, search jobs. And so we are doing our part for workforce development in that aspect. Last thing I wanted to mention, we've talked about the bookmobile for a while. Well, I have something I can show you which kind of gives you an idea of what it's going to look like. I can pass this around. But this is a rendering of the new Clayton County bookmobile. And I received word yesterday from our vendor that we should have it no later than in January. So we worked with their graphics folks, several iterations going back and forth. What do we want? What don't we want? So we were able to look at some designs from some other library systems and kind of crafted our own. And we got input from staff as well. They pitched in, gave us some ideas. And really think we came up with a very nice graphic for the bookmobile. And you may notice on the back or the rear of that graphic, what does it say? Bookmobile, something on the go. Library. We're pretty pleased about it as well. So, are there any questions for me regarding? Yes, ma'am.
Can you just remind us, for those of us who aren't familiar, all of us should be, but maybe the public isn't, what is the purpose of the bookmobile? How does it serve the community?
Thank you for asking.
Took my
I think-
question.
I know we are.
Bookmobiles have been around for a very long time, believe it or not. And I guess I'll say the impetus for bookmobiles is to bring library services to the community. For those that can't make it to the brick and mortar facility, as well as to bring to communities and neighborhoods that don't have library services. So we will have books on there, we will have our DVDs, we will have hotspots. The bookmobile is outfitted to have monitors on either side, so we can display, we can show movies, videos, whatnot. It has awnings also that come out on both sides to provide shade. So we're real excited. And again, it allows us to go in areas where we don't currently have branches.
And then that was going to be my question along with trustee Adover. So strategically, these are placed in unincorporated areas, like unincorporated Rex, unincorporated Lovejoy, those places like that.
Anywhere where we can drive that and take it, we can take it. We've already talked about taking it to apartment complexes, extended stay hotels, working with transient families and those who, again, have challenges getting to the library, so we are bringing the library to them. And we do programs, we do pop-up libraries. So we are just uber excited about this book.
And also, once they reach a site, are there an hour, 2 hours, or an 8-hour day shift?
Probably won't be an 8-hour shift, but it also greatly will depend on the community. And as long as we're there serving folks, we'll gladly stay as long as we need. Yes.
I just wanted to mention, probably now 30 years ago, I remember the library bookmobile coming to our community, and we were so excited when it would come. We were so excited, that bus, and those books. So this is awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Trustee.
I was just going to ask, will you all accept invitations? So if there's a particular community event or something going on in the community, is there a way for individuals to request the bookmobile?
Yes.
And what is that process, if you know?
I don't have nothing in place right now. We have our Assistant Director for Outreach, Dr. Ozo. She will be working to spearhead requests like that come in. She'll probably work with Assistant Director Rebecca James, so if it's a children's related program, they can coordinate and make sure that we have the bookmobile where it needs to be. And I'm glad, real quick before you, Trustee Trina, you mentioned the bookmobile. Well, we all know growing up, the ice cream truck was coming. How did we know? So we're in the process of getting theme music. Yes,
I was wondering, is it just the one bookmobile or would there be several?
it's just the one for right now. not gonna say how much that would cost us, but yes.
Well, I'm gonna put myself way out there on this one. I'm put myself way out there. I understood you say that we probably won't receive it until the end of January.
Yes.
For those cities that really promotes the St. Patrick's Day parade, we would be able to put this in the parade.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Not just St. Patrick's Day, but other events that the individual cities have, the county has. You will see that. We'll be a library on the go, quite a few places.
Good.
Awesome.
Any additional questions?
All right, thank you. Well, I did have one on my list. Mental health, I want to talk about that.
Okay.
Just briefly. We all know that there is someone around us, be it family member or be it friends, that is suffering with some type of mental challenges. Is there a way that we can, I know we have something already in place for that, but is there a way that Director James can put something out more about that to the public, on the website, not the demo?
Let's talk offline,
Okay.
specifically about some ideas you may have.
Okay.
Yes, we'll discuss with either Dr. Buchanan or other clinicians in the area that might be considered. Thank you.
All right, next we have will be the financial report. As you were.
Pardon me. You should have that with your packet. Are there any questions? We are plugging along. In some areas, we are looking at reminding folks that we have to make sure we utilize the funds in the budgets all the way through the end of June. So be mindful of the spending. We are currently in the process of preparing our proposed budget for 2026 now. So we have a meeting with the county on the 18th. We have to have information into the county by the end of this week regarding some budgetary items we would like to have. We have been told that don't get too happy. Much like last year, funding is not as it needs to be, could be. There are a few key positions that I am going to request. We need somebody to drive that bookmobile. So you put your hand in. So we will need a full-time person for that. They will need a part-time person to help with them. And we also are looking for a marketing and a community engagement position. We really feel that it needs to be a coordinated effort with the outreach librarian. There's a social media component. There's just so many things that we need marketing and promoting, or marketing and promotion wise, that I need someone to fill that role. We still have a vacant virtual services coordinator. And I think there are a couple other ones that we're requesting. I'm crossing my fingers, what do they say, shoot for the stars, you may, moon, you may end up somewhere up there. So if you don't ask, you don't get. So that's kind of where we are with that.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Did not receive a copy. Did anyone else receive a copy of the financial report?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that, is it?
In email, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, in email,
Yeah.
okay.
And we can get your copy.
Okay.
All right. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, any other questions?
All right, I'm going to need a motion to approve the financial report.
Make the motion that we approve the financial.
It's been a motion made by Vice Chair Duran, who's there, second.
I second.
It's been seconded by those Gutierrez, seconded by Trustee Gutierrez. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you, sir. Next item on the agenda will be the Deputy Director's report.
Good evening, how are you all?
Good evening.
seeing each other. But we've had such a great month in the month of November. Kudos to building and maintenance. They are really going around to the branches, making sure that we have our needs met. They have started to divide the work, and they now have 3 service managers as the point of contact. So I think that has really helped out. We continue to have our bi-weekly meetings, and so they are really doing such a phenomenal job. But not only building and maintenance, refuse control. The one thing is, you know, you've heard in the past that a lot of staff have had issues with safety and security. Well, we have a lot of overgrown areas, and refuse control has come in, thanks to Captain Gooden and her team. They have come in and started to clear out those areas so that we have more visibility, and so that when staff are leaving at night, because it is getting darker earlier, that they can see what's happening, and they make sure. We always remind them to stay together, but those overgrown areas really do help because we can see now through everything. So that is wonderful for refuse control, and we just thank them so much for that. The adult programming and the youth services programming has been absolutely amazing. Our staff members are putting out so many programs, but actually, we have interest forms. Interest forms, also we have a suggestion box online. If anyone is interested, we want to hear your thoughts about the different programs that you want to see at our branches. And so for the adult department, 107 programs. That's a lot of programs with 2,587 patrons participating. For our youth services, 113 programs with 3,458 patrons participating. Not only are we doing in-house programs, but we also go to the schools. We also go to the community centers, the Parks and Rec, senior services. We are going to feel the need. And so Talita Yanez, as well as Jennifer Wynn, they have what is called Wild Wednesdays at the Riverdale Middle School, where they go in, and as you have seen before, some of our robotics, they're going into the schools, and they're showing kids and teens, as well as the teachers, so that we can engage with them and show them how to start coding, how to do those things that will benefit them. We also have those programs in-house, so make sure you're looking at our calendar of events on www.claytonpl.org. If you click on calendar of events, you'll see each branch, what the events that they have at their locations. Also, the Library Ambassador Board, they have done such a phenomenal job. And in the month of November, they've been very busy with outreach. So they started off at the Jim Huey Fall Festival. And in addition to assisting Assistant Director Rebecca James at the Career Pathway Fair, they provided turkeys to families in need for Thanksgiving. And this was for the city of Riverdale, the countywide turkey giveaway. And so they are doing such a phenomenal job representing us, and we thank them for that. As our director mentioned before, Dr. Rafina Oza, who is our Assistant Director of Community Engagement and Outreach, conducted several outreach events promoting the library systems. And this was at our different senior centers, our extended stays, our apartment complexes. And so we are busy as we are thinking about the bookmobile. She's going into the community, identifying those areas now, okay? And so for our youth services, we're in the schools. Staff conducted 24 outreaches and programs in the month of November. Staff interacted with 483 children, 179 teens, as well as 366 adults. Mm-hmm. And so they have actually 20 outreach events for the month of December. So we want to make sure that we're present. We want to make sure that we're filling that need. And so everyone is doing such a great job, and they work so hard to make this happen. Any questions from our report? Any comments?
just continue doing what you're doing. And thank you so much. Okay, I would like to make a pivot back up to our prayer. You know, prayer is everything in my life, and should be everyone's life. And I see that Pastor Kelly has joined us from the inclement weather. And at this time, I'd like to ask Pastor Kelly to come up and give us a word of prayer, please.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Still getting used to Atlanta's traffic. I'm just honored to be here with you all this evening. Let's pause for a word of prayer. Almighty Father, we thank you for the opportunity that you've given us to gather in this fashion, Lord, to discuss the business of Clayton County. We pray that you would continue to be with each and every board member. We ask that you would give them unusual wisdom, Lord, as they deliberate and seek to be a help to this county, to our youth, to our families. We pray, oh God, that you would give them abundant blessings, Lord, and we ask that you would enlarge their territory. Father, I pray that you would move in a special way through this meeting this evening, and let your name be glorified. We ask it in that name that is above everything. And everybody said, Amen.
Amen. Amen. Okay, y'all, let's take a picture with Pastor Kelly. Okay, Ms. Jones, be on your tight ones.
Y'all talking about that?
The taller in the back, the one he's
One, two, three. One more. One, two, three.
Trustee, y'all stay up here. Trustee, y'all stay up here. This is going to be for our holiday photo.
One, two. There we go. Hey, oh. One, two, three. One more. One, two, oh. Can the section switch? Can you see? One, two, three. Got it. Yeah.
Okay, I want to thank Pastor Kelly for joining us in that word of prayer. Okay, moving on to the committee report, Secretary Flynn.
Okay, we'll begin with our advocacy committee, and I've heard we have some great reporting, so I'll go ahead and turn the mic over to the ladies of advocacy to hear all about your endeavors this past month.
For me, I do have some exciting upcoming events. So next week on the 17th, let me make sure, yes, the 17th, Riverdale's gonna have their holiday event, story time, and it's gonna be with Mrs. Claus and Mr. Claus, or Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus. And then and I have the honor of being Mrs. Claus that day. So
Oh.
if you guys want to come out, my husband's gonna be Mr. Claus. That's Tuesday the 17th, Riverdale,
At what time?
4 to 5:30.
Will you drop that in the chat, please?
Yes.
Okay, that should be exciting.
Yes. And then next Thursday, the 19th, I'm gonna be visiting headquarters here, from 10:30 to 12 as Mrs. Claus as well. For story time, yes.
What was the second date?
The December, the 19th Thursday, 10:30 to 12.
You wouldn't happen to have a flyer that you can circulate?
So they do have flyers back there, but I have one right here if you wanna take a picture. And I was gonna drop it in the chat.
Okay, that's,
Thank you.
yeah.
Yes.
We can't wait.
You want to support our trustee.
Thank you.
If I was naughty, I'd still get something.
No.
Okay. Anybody else?
I would like to add something, if I may. Tomorrow is the 11th, December 11th. The Riverdale Elementary School is having its Lit Dad event. And this is all the fathers and father figures. There will be there reading to the children there. And I think they're also inviting an author to be there. And I will be there as well, representing our library system. And just sharing with them the different programs we have available to our community. And I'll be able to share about the, I can't.
Yes, please do.
We can talk about the mobile, yeah, mobile, yes. That's a great question. It starts at 4 p.m., from 4 p.m. to 6:30.
Do you have a flyer to share with us in the chat as well?
I will get one,
Thank you, sir.
yes.
Thank you. Do we have anybody else that would like to share in this regard for advocacy?
I have something next month. I have plans for this month. I didn't do anything the previous month. Or, yeah. Coffee with a librarian is innocent. I consistently do that. This one, I'm sorry, the days and the months are going by so fast. I can't recall anything else I did in November. But I'll have to report in January. That's the plan.
And just throw my 2 cents in here, just briefly, shouldn't go here, but, there's no way for me to put it. I want to thank Director Parham and Deputy Director Stanley, admin CEO for the kind, and the members for the kind words during my, bereavement. Of course, y'all heard about the first one, but there was a second one just after Thanksgiving. And so my family's in, some trying times, but we know that God is still in control, and I'm going to keep everyone together. But I just wanted to say, for my family, thank you for, the kind words. All right, if nothing else, we have moved to the,
Yes, so the bylaws committee is next. However, that is a line item on the agenda. Is it okay to merge the two, or would you like it to be separate line items?
yes, we can go ahead and verse 2.
Okay, so we'll move on to the bylaws and the revisions. We'll let our director spearhead and follow suit with Abdullah.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's go to our trustee approval.
What's your preference? Would you like me to deliver from here?
Didn't go to voting. You and Chair, go ahead.
Good evening. Good evening. So I come before you representing the bylaws committee, and members of the committee reviewed the literature shared by Director Parham. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And then Trustee Fleming followed that up by sharing it with the entire board. And there were some recommendations provided to me in terms of revisions. And so I would like to share some of the work that we did, what the proposed revision is, have some discussion so we can land on the book. Okay, is that okay?
Sounds good.
All right. So just a reminder, according to the literature that was shared with us, the Roberts Rule on quorum defines it as the minimum number of voting members who must be present at a properly called meeting to conduct business in the group's name. It should consist of a number as large as can be depended upon for being present at all meetings when the weather is not exceptionally bad. Would today be exceptionally bad? I don't know what the definition of exceptionally bad is. Robert's rules are very vague sometimes. But in that literature also, it discusses 3 different types of quorum. And so the first one is a simple majority. Most people go with the simple majority. That just means that we have the majority of our members present. There's something called majority plus 1. And that just simply means that we have the majority of our members present plus 1 additional member. And then the last one is that percentage, that 1/3 of our board is present, and that is 33% of our board is present. So what we came up with, and you guys have in front of you what was recommended. So I took the liberty to, one, give you guys a copy of what we currently have in place with all of the wonderful revisions that were made at our last meeting. So you have that copy. And if you go to section 5, where it discusses quorum and voting, it says revisions pending. And so that's a discussion that we're going to have today. In addition, I provided you with a sheet of paper that not only has what's currently there and pending revisions, but what the recommended revision would be. And so I will read that now and then have some discussion about that and see what the will of the board is, okay? So the recommended revision would be the chair may conduct no official business at a board meeting without a quorum present. A quorum shall consist of a simple majority of the board members plus 1 attending in person or through teleconferencing. For example, if there are 11 appointed trustees, a quorum will require 7 trustees to be present. Each board member, including the chair, shall be entitled to 1 vote. So I will start off the discussion because even after this was sort of developed and I reflected a little bit, I thought about those instances where a plus 1 may not necessarily be needed, right? The whole purpose of the plus 1 is so that we don't fall on a dead even vote, right? So we want to make sure that we sort of and we have an odd number so that when we vote, we can get a majority vote on something that's being presented to the board. So I wanted to recommend or have a discussion about possibly adding in, so I'll reread it with what I'm suggesting we add in, or in addition to what we already have there. And then I'll open it for discussion. The chair may conduct no official business at a board meeting without a quorum present. A quorum shall consist of a simple majority of the board members plus 1 in the event, this is the addition, in the event that a simple majority is an even number. And I just put that in just so that kind of protects us against, so we'll use a simple majority in most cases, but in the event that we fall on an even number, which we currently have, right? Because we have 10, the majority would be 6, right? So we would use the plus 1 rule in this instance because we have an even. Does that make sense? Yes. So I felt like that verbiage would give us the opportunity, because in the case that we have 9 and we have 8, we'll fall right back into the same situation that we're in right now. But if we put that little clause in here, then we're protected against all situations in which that may be an issue. Okay, so I'll read it one more time with what I'm recommending. We'll have some discussion and vote, okay? The chair may conduct no official business at a board meeting without a quorum present. A quorum shall consist of a simple majority of the board members plus 1 in the event that the simple majority is an even number attending in person or through teleconferencing. For example, if there are 11 appointed trustees, a quorum would require 7 trustees to be present. Each board member, including the chair, shall be entitled to 1 vote. And I'll open it up for discussion at this time. What are you all's thoughts?
The teleconferencing, I know we had that discussion some time ago as well, that a member, they can view via teleconferencing, but they cannot vote.
Okay.
So that needs to stay the same.
So we'll keep everything and just take out or teleconferencing, just omit that part. So you saying attending in person only?
Yes, it has to, the BOC can only do that. We are not allowed to do that. We have to be present or to vote. But they can view online.
They can view, they just can't vote.
Correct.
Right, so this is for establishing a simple majority for business, so we would just take that statement out. I think that would just be the easiest way to do that, so.
That's just me saying now, are any other, it's open for discussion.
I have a question about the math and the last version that you read. You said that it would be simple majority it would be simple majority plus one if the majority or if the number of people is even. So if there are 11 board members, the simple majority would be 6, we wouldn't need 7.
No, 6 is an even number. So if
But
the simple
11 's
majority, right, if the simple majority is an even number, then we'll put in the +1.
So not the number of,
Total.
Right.
Not the total number of members.
Right, but a simple majority of an even number is the problem, it's an even split of votes, right? So if you have 10 people and you have 5 people vote here and 5 people vote here, you need a simple majority plus 1. It's not because it's an odd or even number of votes, it's because there's an even number of votes on both sides.
So
right?
take the 11 example, right?
Right.
So we currently have 10. Let's just take what we have right now. Let's operate what we have right now, right? If we operate right now, a simple majority would be 6.
Yeah.
So we would enact the +1 rule. We would enact the +1 rule because 6 is an even number.
I don't understand how being an even number though means that you don't have a majority vote.
Not that you don't have, it would alleviate a tie being established when we're voting.
You can't have,
Because you have 6 people here voting. Go ahead, this is discussion time, so this time is up.
so you're saying you have 10 people available to vote, not 6, right? You have 10.
No, she's saying 6. In this case, if 6 people show up.
Right. That makes more sense. Okay. So you're saying that if the number of people available to vote is even.
So I can clarify, but this is why we want to make it clear. So how can we adjust the language so that misunderstanding is not interpreted? Because my goal is to be clear, right? So there was some lack of clarity. So how do we clear that so there's not a misconception about what's intended?
I would say if the number of available voting trustees is even.
Okay,
Yeah.
so discussion, do you think that would clear up the misconception about what's intended?
Yeah, I think so.
available trustees or people in attendance maybe?
Yeah.
So we clarify what makes them available? Does that make sense? That's
It
it?
would have to be
Okay.
trustees, it would have to be trustees on to do the voting. Directly, you have anything? You can throw in, jump in there? Okay.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, so where would that go in here? So let's reread it with your a recommended amendment. Can you do that?
Copy?
Well, it should be that blank, that separate sheet of paper. I think I'll pass it out to everybody.
Yes.
Chair, the only thought or question in my mind, and it kind of goes back to what Trustee Payne was saying. We have technically an 11-person board.
Correct.
Let's just say, for sake of conversation, we only have 6 to show up for a meeting, or we only have 5 to show up for a meeting. Can we still conduct business? And I present that to the board because you can put language in here that would cover situations like that. It wouldn't necessarily have to be a set number, but either a percentage or majority of voting members who are present at the meeting, and you can still conduct business without having either a full board or having 6, which is the majority of the 11. So that's my only comment to this conversation. It's something to think about, because I do know in the past, there were instances where we didn't have as many board members showing up, and business could not be conducted.
Correct.
And so I think we need to think strategically how to add the language that covers situations like that.
So I think that the way it's being proposed now would protect us in terms of, right now, we don't have our 11th member, correct? Right now, we only have 10 members. And so we have to go based upon what we currently have. And that number could change. That number could be, somebody could, something, whatever the situation, you can go to 9, you can go to 8, until that position is filled, right? So we're going with the number that we have at any given moment. Which right now, we're just operating off of the 10, right? So I received what you were saying, hopefully you have some time to sort of develop what that looks like, okay? And we'll circle back around. So I like to just operate in the present, right? So we have 10 members now. And I think the discussion was, if every single board member showed up, that would be 10 votes, right? 5 of us say yay and 5 of us say nay, right? Then we're deadlocked on a decision, right? So to prevent a deadlocked decision when voting, then we would enact that, what would that, it would tend, can you avoid a deadlocked decision at all? You just have to, what is the rule for that?
I'll still be decided.
Okay. In that event?
Correct.
Okay. So you would be included in this, so those are two separate ideas, right? The voting and the tiebreak being separate from the establishment of the quorum. Are we both clear on that part?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I don't want to confuse the two or marry the two. I wanted us to still view them as separate ideas.
I wonder if the, like Director Carl was saying, instead of having a +1 that potentially delay the conducting of all business, if we go with a simple majority, and then if we get tied up on maybe one thing, we either, if the bylaws say that the chairperson breaks the tie, the chairman breaks the tie, then that's fine. If the bylaws say that you have to have a majority vote, then we vote again the next time if there is an odd number of people. I think that the anticipation of a single deadlocked vote, keeping us from being able to conduct any other business, would make it a less advantageous adjustment.
Okay, I received that. So with what you just said, we would take out the +1 rule altogether. So you're recommending taking the +1 rule out altogether and just go with a simple majority.
Correct.
And then whatever that simple majority is, and then we'll deal with having to break a tie, whatever the situation may be, in the event that may happen outside. Okay, so we have a couple of things. One is, as is written on this paper. 2, as is written with the addition in the event that the simple majority is an even number. 3, take out everything that relates to the +1 rule and just keep it without the +1 rule, and then also taking out the teleconferencing. So the new one, so we got 3 choices. So the new choice is, it reads like this. The chair may conduct no official business at a board meeting without a quorum present. A quorum shall consist of a simple majority of the board members in person. For example, if there are 11 appointees, a quorum would require 6 now. That would say 6, right? Not 7.
Mm-hmm.
Trustees to be present. Each board member, including the chair, shall be entitled to 1 vote. So those are the 3 versions. So reflect on that. If there's any additional conversation, then we need to choose a verbiage, right? Chair?
Correct.
Okay.
Vice Chair, do you have something?
I'm trying to recall, because we was reliving this when we first came on board.
Correct.
And so I'm trying to recall some of the past conversations and trying to see what the state requirement was. I don't have that before me, but I'm sure that we're in compliance with what the state bylaws. So I was just replaying those conversations and bringing, but I'm in favor of the simple majority. Because I was thinking about when you mentioned those who are tuning in virtually, teleconference, I believe the state said that's only if someone was under the weather or contagious and didn't want to, infect others, so that was the way. Yes, so, that's what I was remembering, and I was trying to remember, do they have voting privileges, and I think you're absolutely correct that if you're virtual, you go towards the quorum, but you don't have a vote.
Correct.
So,
And that law can't be changed.
right, we want to definitely be in line with the state. So I'm in favor of the simple.
Okay, so since this is discussing quorum and voting, did you, I don't want to complicate things, but did you want to include the teleconferencing rule in here? Did you want to include that language in here? In terms of you can be counted in the quorum, but not for voting?
You cannot vote, I mean,
Do you want to include that or just take it out?
I would just go ahead and take it out,
Okay.
because, I mean, it's there for no reason at all, because now we can do anything.
But it will allow us to conduct the business. Right?
Yeah, I mean,
So it may be a time when you may need to call on one of us and say, hey, we need to make a quorum. Can you join us via, but that would be only if the person is ill, is that what I'm understanding?
that'd be the only way that they can do it online, I mean, that's my understanding.
And you still wouldn't have the minimum required board members in person to vote anyway,
Correct.
so you still wouldn't be able to conduct business.
Correct.
So, go with the simple majority,
Yeah.
those in attendance.
You seem kind of call Mr. Ill.
Right. Okay, so, would you like me to read that one more time and then we can take a vote?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Okay. So the recommended revision based on discussion is the chair may conduct no official business at a board meeting without a quorum present. A quorum shall consist of a simple majority of the board members in person. For example, if there are 11 appointed trustees, a quorum would require 6 trustees to be present. Each board member, including the chair, shall be entitled to 1 vote. Sounds good? Take a vote. Chair? I
Yes.
Put it on, pass the baton.
Okay, are there any more discussions? All right, well, that was improper. Is there a motion to accept the edited version of the bylaws in terms of our quorum and voting?
I'll make a motion.
All right, it's been motioned by Secretary Fleming. Is there a second?
I'll second.
The second by Trustee Payne. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you, trustee.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So that was all we had?
We did all the other ones at the last meeting.
Oh, great.
Okay, so we have bypassed the unfinished business as well, so we're going to go into the new business, which will be the meeting room and policy revisions. There's a farm.
Good evening once again. Hopefully you received an email that had 2 attachments. Great. So we have been receiving word back from the branches that there was some ambiguity regarding the meeting room policy, specifically around folks who have a Clayton County Pines card, but did not live in Clayton County. You can obtain a Clayton County Pines card and reside in another county. So that loophole we needed to fix and address by the language that we are proposing this evening. So the one document you have says applicants must be 21 years or older at time of application and be in possession of a Clayton County issued Pines card account in good standing and valid state of Georgia ID. I have modified this particular bullet point and have cleared it up to where you have to reside in the county or be a county employee. The other part that I modified, I don't care if your card is in good standing. If your library card is blocked because you have some late fines or you have some overdue books, that should not prevent you from utilizing the meeting. I want to remove those types of barriers. And so the language in here speaks to that. So the language that I am proposing is meeting room applicants must reside in Clayton County or be a Clayton County employee. Applicants must be 21 years or older and have a valid Pines card. Standing, I don't care. Proof of county residency or county employment is required to reserve meeting room space. So I think that clears it up, and we can ask those who are applying for meeting room. Do you live in the county? Yes, I will need proof of residency. And we have a whole list that we can use, a driver's license, ID, piece of mail, something again that links you to your current Clayton County address. And that should hopefully clear up that loophole and make things less ambiguous. So,
Okay.
any questions on any of it?
Well, there's a question halfway to it.
Okay.
I recently, a citizen came to me a few weeks ago, about a week or so ago, and was questioning, wanting to reserve a room and needed my assistance. And I was trying to direct him by phone where he needs to go there. But he didn't understand. I said, okay, well, let me stop what I'm doing and I'll check for you. But I noticed that to reserve a room, the application was no longer there. So that part has been removed.
No. We've discovered that some of the links on the application site policies have been broken, so we're addressing that.
Okay.
Yeah. There were some policies that we worked on just the other day. Click on the link and it was broken or took you to an ambiguous site, so we're addressing that.
That's all.
Okay. Any other questions on the language, or again, is it direct enough? Do you think they get the idea and it's
Self-explanatory. Thank you. All right, well, that brings us to the end of our journey.
Mr. Chair, are we going to vote on it? I would need a vote.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm ready to go home. Thank you so much. So, for the policy revision, can I have a motion on that, please?
Move to approve the meeting room policy.
It's been properly moved by Secretary, Trustee Payne. Is there a second, second by Trustee Abdullah? Are there any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you. Now, we have in the point of adjourning, once again, as I stated during the Thanksgiving holiday period, we are now at the Christmas holiday period. Ask that y'all be safe, enjoy Santa Claus, we know who Santa Claus is. If you know who Santa Claus is, let me leave my list with you right now. It will be a water bill, light bill. I don't want to pay for it, but I want y'all to be safe, enjoy family. We will not reconvene until 2025, so that wants to bring us into the new year. I want you to have a safe new year as well. I want to see everyone back here in 2025 in good spirits, smile on their faces, and ready to go back to work. So, if there are no other business to talk about, I'd like to get a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
It has been moved by Vice Chair Andrews. Is there a second? second by trustee Abdullah. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Good night, happy holidays.
Aye.